To lose weight, it's no secret that you must burn more calories than you consume daily. There are a couple of strategies out there to facilitate this, such as portion control, reducing your intake of processed food and added sugar substantially, or intermittent fasting, for instance, which gives you a smaller eating window, meaning a smaller period of calorie consumption. One other one, though, which on first thought could make the most sense of all, is calorie counting. Given that someone's recommended calorie intake for weight loss will be an approximate figure, it's conceivable why they ought to track figures. Yet many actually debate if this particular strategy is helpful or harmful. So today we'll explain calorie counting in more detail and discuss if it's a good idea to go down this route. But first, as always, please take note of our disclaimer. Before we get into calorie counting, what exactly is a calorie anyway? Simply put, calories are a way to measure the energy we get from food and drink. You may remember from 4th grade science class that a kcal is defined as the amount of energy needed to increase the temperature of 1 kilo of water by 1 degree Celsius. The calories we consume are necessary for breathing, metabolism, moving, living basically. The number needed to support our overall bodily functions daily is known as our maintenance calorie intake, hence the number of calories we need to stay the same weight. Any extra calories we intake beyond this is called a caloric surplus, and will contribute to your fat stores and accumulate to weight gain over time if done repeatedly. Accordingly, to reduce your excess fat stores, you need to consistently undertake a caloric deficit, which is intaking fewer calories than your maintenance caloric intake, or in other words, burning more calories than you're consuming. To make things as easy as possible for you, I've included a link to a great resource in the description of where you can calculate your weight loss calories. Moving forward, since you've now a better grasp of calories, what's calorie counting? Calorie counting is exactly how it sounds, counting how many calories we get from the portions of things we have at each sitting. As you can imagine, if you're unfamiliar with the number of calories in food and drinks you regularly have to begin with, this would be very hard to do with just a food label and an eye test. This is because food labels provide calories per serving size, and most often we will not meet that standard, rather a portion size more or less than it. That's why many people will use apps to get a ballpark number or even use scales if they really want to be hardcore. Now, as alluded to at the onset of this video, calorie counting may seem perfectly logical if you want to ensure you're meeting the calorie cutoff points for meaningful weight loss. So what could be possibly bad about it? But just on a side note, if you are interested in undertaking our evidence-based and results-backed personalized Plato weight management program, please click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video or follow the link in the description. First off, calorie counting is very tedious. Just try tracking one meal that contains 10 different ingredients, each with a different portion size. You'll see how draining it is on time and brain power. Now imagine doing that for all meals, as well as all snacks, and not just for one day, but every day. Secondly, by calorie counting and limiting calories as much as possible, you might be restricting healthy food, such as good fat. Per gram, carbs, as well as protein, contain around 4 calories, but dietary fat, whether good or bad, contains 9 calories. They're called good and bad fats not because one has more calories than the other, but because of the positive or negative attributes associated with them. Sure, you may intake more calories in the immediate sense if you include healthy fat sources like avocados, seeds, and unsalted nuts at meals or for snacks. Still, since they're great for feelings of fullness, they actually lead to fewer overall calories daily, from decreasing your portion sizes at your next meal and reducing snacking. Just be extra mindful of the portion sizes of them due to the extra calories associated. Therefore, by calorie counting, you may be inclined to skip helpful foods like these merely from trying to save calories, but in fact you could end up doing the opposite and increase your overall calories as a result. Another disadvantage is that calorie counting can be misleading regarding overall diet quality. Having a particular calorie value to consume in a day doesn't tell you the makeup of them calories. Say your weight loss calories were 1,500 for instance. Doesn't this mean you could consume 1,500 calories worth of pizza and fizzy drinks each day and still lose weight? Probably, but you'd pay the price by feeling awful and being in a constant state of craving all day long. Also, by having your weight loss calories primarily made up of processed goods, your micronutrient intake levels would take a dangerous hit, negatively influencing your health by doing so. Of course, 1,500 calories of only pizza and soda is an extreme example. Still, even 1/4 of these weight loss calories from a bad food choice is enough to enhance these negative consequences significantly. Additionally, suppose you have below your daily calorie requirement, often while calorie counting. In that case, you could end up using this as a daily excuse to have junk food at night, creating a whole new unhealthy eating habit when you should instead be creating healthy ones while dieting. Finally, the last point, and maybe the most worrying, is that one could develop an unhealthy relationship with food if they undertook calorie counting over the long term. Frequently, the more calories people count, the less they'll be thinking of the foods they're consuming due to only having the figures of the food in mind, doing the opposite of what alternative helpful weight loss techniques such as mindful eating try to teach. Further, this can make many feel like it's all or nothing. In other words, they're counting and losing weight, or they're not counting and not losing weight. You can imagine how easily someone could get burnt out by this. Ideal diets aren't all or nothing. They are strategic, safe, and manageable, helping your mental as well as your physical health. So, in sum, given the potential disadvantages of calorie counting outlined, we do not recommend it over the long term. However, in the short term, calorie counting can be very helpful, so you can enhance your nutrition knowledge and know what type of foods and the amounts of those foods you should be including while dieting. Have you tried calorie counting? Do you agree with our verdict on its use while dieting? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section down below. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. So that has been our video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.